Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And now I will fulfill my last project, last assignment on the subject of extensive reading. And the title of this project is Article Summary for Extensive Reading 2022 PBI UIN Jakarta. And I would like to introduce myself. My name is Syifa Nurwahidah and my student number is 065. And I am from class 4C. And now, in this occasion, I want to explain about the 10 articles that I have read in this fourth semester. And I hope you all don't get confused because I will try to explain these 10 articles in about 10 until 15 minutes. These 10 articles are related and all of them discuss about research in learning English process. Before we go to the review of these 10 articles, I will read the titles of these 10 articles. The first article is Improving the Reading Comprehension Through Cognitive Reading Strategies in Learning Class of Coastal Area in Indonesia. And the second article is Language Learning Strategies in English as a Foreign Language Classroom in Indonesian Higher Education Context. And the third article is a comparison of the impact of extensive reading and intensive reading approaches on the reading attitudes of secondary English foreign language learners. And the fourth is practicing discussion in the form of pyramid to improve student speaking performance and classroom interaction. And the next is the student speaking performance in a speaking classroom environment viewed from the student's satisfaction and their motivation. And next is advantages of using comics pedagogy in English language teaching a practical approach. And the next is the effectiveness of using comic strips to increase students' reading comprehension for the 8th grade student of SMPN 1 Pundong. And the next is the effects of using direct method in teaching speaking skills at the second year of SMK Negeri 1 Baner Meriah Aceh. And the next is aiming at the same target, amongst priming students directly comparing derivation and inflection in the second language. And the last is teaching method used in English foreign language classroom, students and teachers' perspective. Okay, let's jump to the review of these 10 articles. And the first article is Improving the Reading Comprehension Through Cognitive Reading Strategies in Language Class of Coastal Area in Indonesia. And this article was written by Abdul Ghafur Marzuki, Nur Alim, and Ismail Suardiwik. And the purpose of this article is to solve reading comprehension problems of students in English foreign language class through cognitive reading strategies. And the results shows that cognitive reading strategies potentially improve the reading comprehension of the student in the English foreign language class teaching at the university level. So the cognitive reading successfully improve the reading comprehensions of the students in the English foreign language class at the university level. And the second article is Language Learning Strategies in English as a Foreign Language Classroom in Indonesian Higher Education Context. And this article was written by Firima Zona Tanjung. So the purpose of this article is investigate student language learning strategies related to their age and providing some steps to make teaching program more effective by considering student learning language system and their age as well. And the result, it can be concluded that although indirect strategies get higher means of preference from the participants, but they do not only focus on using indirect strategies, but they combine those with direct strategies. So the participants do not only focus on using indirect strategies, but however, they also combine those with direct strategies. And the third is a comparison of the impact of extensive reading and intensive reading approaches on the reading attitudes of secondary English foreign language learners. And the purpose of this article is to is to investigate the impact of extensive reading on English as a foreign language learners' attitudes towards English reading compared to the influence of the traditional intensive reading approach. And the results show that the extensive reading approach fostered positive reading attitudes significantly more than the intensive reading approach. And in addition, the analysis indicate that the participant proficiency level didn't have a significant effect upon change in their reading attitudes. So extensive reading is successfully improve positive reading attitudes more than intensive reading. But the participant proficiency level didn't have a significant effect upon change in their reading attitudes. And the first is practicing discussion in the form of pyramid to improve students' speaking performance and classroom interaction. And the purpose of this article is describing how the use of pyramid discussion to enhance students' speaking performance and classroom interaction. And the result can be concluded that the use of pyramid discussion was able to improve students' speaking performance and classroom interactions at the 8th grade students of SMPN 1 Praia Timur Central Lombok. So the pyramid discussion was improved student speaking performance at that school. And the next article is the student speaking performance in a speaking classroom environment view from the student satisfaction and their motivation. And this article was written by Rahmawati, Amelia Eka Ratnasari, Ittaki Fauzi, and Rafiq. So the purpose of this article is to investigate student speaking performance view from their satisfaction in a speaking classroom dealing with the material used as part of classroom environment and the lecturer as the facilitator of the classroom environment also for their motivation. And the results shows that the students have high motivation in a speaking classroom. They also satisfied with the materials and the instructor in the speaking classroom. However, correlation analysis indicate that there is no significant correlation between the student speaking performance with the student satisfaction and the student motivation. So the students state that they are satisfied with the materials and the lecturer in speaking classroom, but there is no correlation. There is no correlation between the student speaking performance with the student satisfaction and the student motivation. And the next article is advantages of using comic pedagogy in English language teaching practical approach. And this article was written by Miss Monosri Mitra and Miss Sila Kezi. And the purpose of this article is to discuss the use of different comics tools such as fill in the blank, jigsaw, sequencing, predictions, and information transfer, and how they can be beneficial in English language class. And the results show that the comic tools prove advantageous in generating and considerable interest among the English language learners to improve their reading, speaking, and writing skills. The sense of humor in comics create an eagerness in them to try to use appropriate linguistic expression by conscious effort. So the comics tool proved that there are some advantages in generating considerable interest among the English language learners to improve their reading, speaking, and writing skills. And the next article is the effectiveness of using comic strip to increase students' reading comprehension for the 8th grade students of SMPN 1 Pundong. And this article was written by Zul Aini Ringgur and Sirin. And the purpose of this article is to find out whether the use of comic strip was more effective than the use of conventional media in increasing student reading comprehension. And the results showed that the use of comic strip was more effective than the use of conventional media in student reading comprehension. So the comic, maybe we can use comic in to improve reading comprehension at student. And the next is the effect of using direct method in teaching speaking skill at the second year of SMK Negeri 1 Bandar Meria Aceh. And this article was written by Umar Haliwanda. And the purpose of this article is to know the effect of using direct method before and after being taught by using direct method, and also emphasize the benefits of using direct method to teach how to communicate in the target language. So the result shows that the student's ability in speaking before being taught by using direct method is categorized in a poor level. And on the other hand, the student's speaking ability after being taught by using direct method is categorized into good level. And the next article is aiming at the same target amongst priming study directly comparing derivation and inflection in the second language. And this article was written by Gunnar Jacob, Vera Heyer, and Joe Versimo. And the purpose of this article is to compare the processing of morphologically complex derived versus inflected forms in native speakers of German and highly proficient native Russian second language or L2 learners of German. And the results show that the first language speaker shows similar facilitation effects for both derived and inflected primes. But the second language learner speakers show a difference between the two prime types with robust priming effects for only for derived but not for inflected forms. And the last is understanding teaching method used in English foreign language classroom, a students and teacher perspective. And this article was written by Irfan Rifai and Salim Nabhar. And the purpose of this article is focused on getting an understanding of the student and teacher perception of teaching method used in English foreign language classroom. And more importantly, this research aimed at bringing to light how students and teachers in the higher education English language classroom help provide new meanings of how different methods are used in classrooms. And the result illustrates that the traditional methods used in the classroom, such as classroom presentation and group discussion, are needed to be modified, and by considering the employment of technology to mediate the acquisition of 21st century skills. And that is the last article that I have read in this first semester. So the conclusion is, from the 10 articles that I have read and reviewed this semester, there are some of them that are indeed used to improve learning in basic learning skill, such as reading and speaking. And in addition, several other articles discuss learning in the context of English as a foreign language. And besides that, there are those who discuss the use of direct method in learning process. And the last, there are those who examine the use of comic in learning English. So it is the ending of my presentation, so I hope you don't get confused. And thank you for watching and listening my video. Enough for me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.